archive this going forward, knowing that there's gonna be a line there going forward? In other words, is it documented in your master, whatever, let's say drawings or for this whole county? That's gonna, you can find that line maybe 5 years later when you do some work there?
I do make
Or will we
notes on my,
accidentally hit it again?
no, I do make notes on my sheet that I keep on the new cleaning grades or on the new grade of the pipe.
Right?
I do make, but either way, I still have to call dig test to make sure it hasn't been relocated. So it's something that I have to do anytime I dig.
Okay, I understand that, but you have your notes in your office.
Yes, yes.
Okay, but is there a master plan?
Anytime before
Yeah,
Pete starts a project, Pete comes to my office and we check the station, we check the facility, whatever drain, lateral, canal. We see if there's any licenses that have been issued for that particular location and see what is crossing, the water line, sewer line, gas line. So we should have all that up front. And if they start excavating and they hit something that we don't have a record of, then at that point, we make that entity apply for a license and we get them licensed. So a lot of these, you know, they were done prior to us doing this, the licensing deal. So Pete comes and checks with me in engineering prior to start any construction project.
So to answer my question, you are continuously updating an as-built set of documents, drawings.
So in the future,
We have
somebody
a
who ever
quarter.
looks
No,
20 years from now
right.
can find it very
Exactly.
easily.
In other words, I'm not going to dig test for that information. I can go to my documents because we found it, we know it's there, so we don't have to work with dig
Yes,
test.
through our license.
Through our licensing.
We have
It's an ongoing living document. Am I understanding that or not?
No,
Yes.
We have a query.
yeah, we have a query, we have a series of licenses, so this is a huge district, as you know, in terms of having over 800 miles, linear miles on both sides of both banks, and there was all sorts of things that were done on a gentleman's agreement from 1917 to when we took it over in 2004. We don't have an integrated GIS, the district hasn't, it was very expensive to do that. We've acquired a lot of information, we've done everything forward, we have in a database that we can query by location. But there is a huge amount of this district that's unknown.
I think what Mike's original question was, excuse me, Mike, he just wanted to know that if whenever Pete finds this stuff,
Right.
that there's a record made that the person doing Pete's job 20 years from now can look at our record and say, oh, there's already some existing.
There's a process of,
Is that what you?
yeah, I think you said, so there isn't a, if we had the GIS system that had all the crossings on it, we'd go add this to the GIS, would be pretty
That's what I'm saying.
straightforward. We don't have that. What we have is a procedure. By now, we know that there's 2 crossings, one from Texas Gas and one from Lower Valley, that don't meet our standards. And we start a process of trying to get them licensed and fixed. That's a very slow process when the other entities don't cooperate.
No, we understand that.
And then once we get a license, then they go into the database and we're covered. And then 20 years, 100 years from now, they'll find them. But until we get these things licensed, all we have is the annotations that he has and our notes start. We open up an investigation number, and those all go in there, but they don't get really formalized until we get it fixed, which can vary from, like Texas Gas, I would imagine we get it fixed pretty fast. Not actually the construction, but the license, because they're pretty easy to work with, and then eventually we'll try to get this thing lowered and deeper. In terms of that gravity thing, that's, we're making progress in Lower Valley, right? And it's on our list of things to do with it.
But the short of it, yes, we do document
Okay, that's all
for the future.
Right, it's just not in a unified system, as you know.
And that's one of the things I also do is, once we call the 811, I confirm with what they mark versus what we show. And then if I come across anything additional, yeah, we make notes on, we found this, we found that. Very good example, this area here. When we were going in there and we removed when we were actually doing the demolition, we actually came across we didn't know there was a telephone line, but it was a pretty thick line with thousands of wires. It had a whole bunch of wires. And we clipped it, we tore it. We found it actually on the south side of the drain, and as we continue digging, those lines are supposed to be in a straight manner. That way you can locate it and you can trace it. Well, this thing, they had left it so long that it was going out up to 20 feet away from where it originally started. So it was like a snake.
But it was abandoned?
abandoned, luckily it was
Thank God.
abandoned. Luckily, but yet, it wasn't marked.
Maybe they just buried it there to get rid of it.
See, it wasn't marked or anything else, so we do take pictures of everything before we start to make sure that everything is marked. Unfortunately, we do come to situations like this that we got no idea it's there.
Are you saying that's after that big test company, or?
Yes, sir.
They,
Yes.
they didn't find it?
Texas.
They didn't
I
find
think
it?
that the other thing that, and I checked with Pete, I know I haven't been involved in this one, aware of it, is that do you lay magnetic tape over those once you go ahead, and we should be doing that at least,
When
when you rebury them?
yeah, we do have some of that blue tape that says, you know, a line 2 feet below or a foot below, or we do
But
put
but
that.
the one that's got the magnetic, I mean, there's a tape that you lay on it that you can pick up with it, you guarantee to pick it up with the sensors. That steel pipe's probably not a problem, the deep one would be hard to pick up.
Well, they did mark the sewer line.
We
They
just
marked the sewer line. The
backfilled.
only thing they didn't mark was that wire, that cable.
Oh, okay.
We just backfilled to the top of the pipe.
Oh, you did,
I mean, that's it, a foot above the pipe, right? And then at that point, the city of El Paso coordinates all the backfilling with the entities that are crossing. Correct?
Well,
We
no,
backfilled this all the way to the.
no, actually, we will backfill, you know, I get with the entities. And, for example, Texas Gas. From the day I started this project to when we completed it, there was somebody there.
So
I couldn't even.
They have a
So,
record.
once we get to the bottom of that pipe, of that gas line, they got a choice of whether they bring their own people, compact to whatever densities they want, or whatever compaction they want, or we'll compact it, but there's gotta be somebody there present.
So they approve that.
Then we get it to their standards.
That span on that pipeline, their engineers calculated or they made a determination that it was a safe span to be exposed.
Right.
They determine whether they need to support it with electric pole or whatever it is that they need. But yeah, that's on their deal.
And I do the same thing with any line. That sewer line, I did the same thing. I contacted Lower Valley. Is your sewer line gonna withhold its own weight? If not, you need to come up here and suspend it. So they do that. I do not suspend lines.
Okay.
That's
You
on
don't
them.
touch them.
And we were replacing the culvert in our facility because the culvert was undersized, corroded, whatever. But they're doing, and any entity is doing construction for their line utility, we make them take out everything and not abandon anything in place. Everything in the district's right away needs to be removed because abandoning place just, it's a problem for anyone later on. It delays projects, so anything in the irrigation districts right away, they
Puts a hell of a
remove it
scare on you.
entirely. What's that?
Puts a hell of a scare on you.
Yeah,
You go
no,
out there
and they
you
get
tear a-
upset. He's like-
Tear a cable that's, 2 inches thick.
They said it's not in the budget, and then we go to the plans, I said, you know, why we specifically request that statement to remove everything with district's right away and not gonna be abandoned in place, so that's
The next one.
moving forward.
See, luckily, again, no water in the drain, so we're able to go in there a pipe at a time and do our install. Keep going now. Keep going, sir. This is all the same drain. And that's when we're completed with Nevada's. We also extended that culvert to 98 feet. Again, this is all paid by, this one was paid by the City of El Paso PSP, correct?
Yes. So those structures you replaced in both of these crossings, and from looking at the RCP that was in the first one, so we estimate that those were put in the 50s probably, or 60s?
East, yes.
So that's why they're legacy.
And see, the thing is that you really couldn't see the true picture on that pipe, because you have the pipe, and right underneath it, they had actually poured a concrete slab that goes from one end all the way to the other. And they had rebar coming, and every collar you saw, it had rebar going through it. So that thing was extremely heavy. But it's out.
It was old, it was very old. Challenges of being,
That's when they built things right.
yeah, well, I would say that was built right, but it wasn't built big enough. So it can't be, it was built strong enough.
I'm not talking about the design, I'm talking about how they.
That's all I have, gentlemen.
Okay, Pete, well, thanks a million. You do a great job, and You got a
Thanks,
lot
Pete.
of work to do now.
Thank you.
All right. Robert's not here to tell us about the
Dusting of snow.
the dusting of snow or anything, what's going on, so I know we had a pretty good season, we had a few water orders disappear, but I understand they found them.
I think the return flows are pretty strong out there.
Yes, right now they are.
Yeah. So that's good. Any additional water is knocked out.
But once you shut that, are a lot of them come out of the upper valley?
I think so. I haven't
That's
checked.
what I'm saying, but once they start November 1st, it's over.
Yeah.
When are they gonna ever finish that project up there, anytime in the next century?
Hopefully this year they'll complete it.
5 years, right?
Yes. And they fired 2 contractors, too? They fired on their
We stopped with counting.
and American Canal.
Oh,
Heading to the,
yes, they're on the third one.
Yeah.
what a mess, it's really affected us when.
Yeah.
Okay, Jay, you got a subdivision plat?
Right, yeah, that's not a very large one. So we've got Alameda Point. It's an existing subdivision, approximately 0.8754 acres along Alameda that has water rights, and it was a single lot, so all they needed was the irrigation easements, and yeah, they submitted all proper documentation needed, or requested by the district, and engineering recommends this subdivision for approval.
Okay. Anybody have any questions? Not, I'd entertain a motion to approve it, application 2071. McGill makes the motion. Mary second. All in favor say aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Well, let's go into closed session, and I guess we can have it in here. Talk about all of our stuff. We have to take that one item. 7A, we discuss that, and then the rest of this stuff.
It's already dropping right down to